To be honest, it never really dawned on me just how much I enjoyed the music in this game. Until, in a moment of reflection, I watched a YouTube video with one of the Winter OST songs. I sat there for a minute, unsure of how to respond. It was kind of like seeing a teacher at a grocery store or something. Like, you weren't meant to be there in that moment, that time. You see, it was the first time I had heard the music without having gameplay on my mind, and it really hit me. The song was Winter, The Wind Can Be Still, and goddamn, my mind was blown. This is a piece of art. It was a mix of the synthwave that I love so much with that peaceful, retro feel, and it nearly brings me to tears when I listen to it. I can't really understand it. I'm not a music expert, nor will I ever claim to be, but something about the composition of some of these songs is incredible. See, Stardew Valley is very peculiar when it comes to music. There's a couple of games out there that are pretty similar in how much I love their soundtracks. Minecraft, Skyrim, and dozens of others. But there are plenty of examples where a fantastic game just doesn't sync with the soundtrack. I'm not going to name any because I don't want to start a comments war, but in essentiality, it's very difficult to make a soundtrack and a game work well together. There's only a couple ways I can describe it, but the main one is it's balance. It's incredibly difficult to balance a game. You can have an incredible medieval game, but without matching music from the time and the place that it's set, it can feel stale, like the world around you is big, but dead. Subconsciously, I fall in love with soundtracks that don't blow my breath away immediately. Skyrim and Minecraft are great examples of this. Sure, their music is great, but I just never really thought about it without playing the game. If for some reason you didn't know, Stardew Valley is made by one guy. No, not programmed by one guy, completely made by him. Everything was his. The music, the programming, the art, absolutely everything. The guy behind it? Concerned Ape. I mentioned him in my tribute to Stardew Valley, but I didn't really go in depth on the soundtrack. But why? Why do I adore these songs that are nowhere close to what I listen to on a day-to-day basis? Well, there are a couple of reasons. One of the big ones is that it seems, personally, like it's a direct upgrade from the Harvest Moon soundtrack, on which the game is heavily influenced. One of the biggest upgrades are the seasonal songs. In Stardew Valley, it's different in that the music has 3 distinct songs for each season, each with its own sound and tune, all working together to stitch a beautiful accompaniment for all your farming desires. One of the things that I appreciate most about the music of Stardew Valley is just how fitting it is to the theme. It's nearly identical as Minecraft, for example. Like, there are games out there like Skyrim that are action, and the music has to reflect that action. But Minecraft is a game primarily about creation. Creating and destroying structures and blocks, and so it's more calm. And that's what it does perfectly. It's got a calming soundtrack that you might forget the first time you hear it. You might not even know the name of your favorite song that you've been listening to since you were 6. Stardew Valley's in the same boat in that it can be very calm at times, but the difference is Stardew Valley has some different things. The music in the bar feels vastly different than the music in the lower mine levels, and the music of spring feels vastly different than the music of fall. And that's what I really appreciate, is that there was effort put into not only making beautiful songs, but also combining them perfectly with their situations. For many of us, Stardew Valley introduced us into a side of life that we wish we had. It introduced us to small-town America, or Canada, or wherever you live. It introduced us to the idea that maybe, just maybe, you don't need infinite technology to be happy. It's a game about escaping the terrifying idea that we are just going to be stuck in a dead-end job for our entire life. Sure, it might be implausible for you to go buy a house out in the middle of nowhere and just be able to pick up farming, just like that. But I think if there's one thing that everyone can take away from this game, it's that the little things in life do matter. Those menial tasks that you do every single day, eventually you're gonna start to remember them as fun and exciting. Eric Barone, or Concerned Ape, is actually very concerned about society. He's concerned that we're losing sight of what's actually important. So the main thing I would like you to do is just appreciate life. Appreciate the fact that we're all here to experience this time. Yes, we're too old to explore the Earth and too young to explore the stars, but just for a moment in time, we're old enough to appreciate music. We're old enough to appreciate art. We're old enough to appreciate the video games that you love, the video games that shaped you into who you are. So you might not enjoy the soundtrack of this game by itself, but that's okay. Just enjoy the game for what it is. And if you don't enjoy Stardew Valley, I'm sure there's a game that you do enjoy. This game changed how I think of life fundamentally. I can't really say that about many games, but this one I definitely think deserves it.